Hello friends, this is Dr. Anil Tiwari, an assistant professor from the School of Philosophy and Culture of Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University. With me is my team member Dr. Madhumangal Chaturvedi, who is also an assistant professor in my school. We have designed an open educational resource as a collection of Moodle lesson activities for outside as well as inside class activities. The topic of discussion for this class is Prasanga, a Buddhist method of argumentation. We know that Prasanga is the method of logical inquiry which is developed by Nagarjuna, the founder of the Madhyamika school of Buddhism. In this method, a philosophical position is shown to be absurd by exposing the contradictions inherent in the position, and the ultimate objective of such analysis is to point out the limitations associated with the conceptual understanding of what is real. So, for this presentation, we have devoted from slide 3 to 7 as outside of classroom activity, from slide 8 to 12 as in-class activity, and then from slides 16 to 18 for evaluation purpose, and the last slide is meant for acknowledgement. So the learning objectives of out of class activity is as follows. At the end of watching the video, the student should be able to identify the character and nature of an argument, understand the Prasanga method of argument, comprehend the reasoning pattern in Indian culture, adopt the pattern of reasoning in common parlance, and the source which we are using for this class is available on EPG Pathshala program. The article is written by Dr. Anil Kumar Tiwari, that is me, and the video is created on the basis of this article. So the link of this video is available on the Moodle lesson plan. The students are supposed to watch the video. They are supposed to watch only 10 minutes of the video for this class, and then they are supposed to try to answer 3 questions based on their own understanding of the video. So the first question is, what is the usual order of the following segments of reasoning in classical Indian philosophy? The students are supposed to choose the answer. We are not going to give the answer right away. We will come back to the question in the end of this lecture. The second question is a factual question which is related to Vitanda. So the question is, what is Vitanda? And again, the question is based on the video between 3 to 5 minutes. If the students see, they can get the answer by themselves. If they don't, we will come back to this inside the class. The third question is a statement. Nagarjuna uses the method of Prasanga to establish his own thesis. Now the students are supposed to decide whether this is a true statement or false statement. For this purpose, they can refer to the video between 4 to 7 minutes and try to get the answer by themselves. So the video which is available on the Moodle is of in fact 25 minutes, but as I said, the students are supposed to watch only 10 minutes of the video and then try to figure out the answer of these questions by themselves, and they are supposed to watch the video, try to answer these questions, and then we will have discussion in the class. So in the classroom, we will try to achieve these objectives. At the end of the class, students will be able to figure out the nature and structure of an argument, and they will be able to understand the uniqueness of the Prasanga arguments. Now, in the class, we will have a reflection spot. The question is, what is an argument? Pause this video for 1 minute and try to get an answer by yourselves, and then we will come back to the answer which is usually given in the textbooks. So I hope you have written your answer in your course journal. Let us see what is the answer given by the scholars, and you try to match your answer with this response. So generally an argument is understood as a group of two or more propositions, and these propositions are so related that one proposition is claimed to follow from the others. For example, if we have two propositions, namely all specs-wearing animals are humans, Mohan is a specs-wearing animal, therefore Mohan is a human. The first two propositions support the proposition which follows therefore. The first two propositions in logic are called premises, and the proposition following therefore is called conclusion. So if the argument is good, the supporting propositions will strongly support the supported proposition. So in this way we see that the basic constituent of an argument is basically proposition. Some propositions function as premises and one proposition functions as conclusion. This way we find the structure of an argument. So you try to match your earlier response with this and see how far you have been able to represent the essence of this argument. Now we can raise a question: is this group of propositions an argument? This is required to understand what is unique about a group of propositions which is named argument and the other groups of propositions. So you try to find out whether it is an argument or not by yourself. We'll pause here for a minute and then see whether you decide it is an argument or not. So I hope you have given your answer. Consider these are statements, propositions. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So altogether we have 5 propositions, and the last proposition is following therefore. So apparently it looks like an argument, but actually it is not an argument. The reason being, mere appearance of conclusion indicators such as therefore, so, conclude, etc. A group of statements doesn't become an argument. If the statements are not logically connected to the conclusion, then it is not an argument. So if we see these statements, they are not in fact forming an argument. So having understood the nature of an argument as a group of statements in which one is supported by the other statements, let us try to see how Indian philosophers argue in their reason. So usually we find this common pattern in Indian philosophers. First they try to produce the opponent's positions which they try to argue against. So this first step is called Purvapaksha. So they present the opponent's argument and then they try to examine it and refute it. So this second stage of examination and refutation is called Khandana. So the Purvapaksha is refuted by rigorous argumentation by Indian philosophers. Having refuted the opponent's position, they propose their own position, that is called Uttarpaksha or Siddhant. So they advance their own position after thorough examination of the opponent's argument. All these 3 components of reasoning are available more or less in every writing. But it is not necessary that each and every thinker, Nagarjuna, who is regarded as the second Buddha, also adopts the same pattern of reasoning as mentioned earlier, but there is a significant difference in his pattern of argumentation. So the difference essentially lies in his disinclination to propose any fresh position, and therefore the last component of this reasoning, namely Siddhanta, is absent. So what he essentially does, he presents the opponent's position and shows that these positions are not coherent. They involve some contradiction. And this method of argumentation is given this name, Prasanga argumentation. So consider this example. Nagarjuna examines the notion of origination, and he suggests that origination can be understood in terms of things being caused either by themselves or by something other than themselves, or by both first and second, or the things are uncaused. He examines all these four positions and shows the contradiction in each of this. For example, he shows that if things are produced by themselves, then there is no point of talking about causation. Something which is already present is not caused, or the cause of that thing is simply is not discussed. So consider, if things are caused by themselves, then we cannot understand the very concept of origination, the very concept of causation. Similarly, if things are produced by other than themselves, then it should be possible that anything can arise from anything. So it will create chaos in the consideration of causation. And if we consider that things are partially produced by themselves and partially produced by other things, then this position involves the problem associated with first and second. And if we consider fourth, that is, the things are uncaused, then there is something which is problematic, because our experience suggests that things are produced, they are caused by something. So this way Nagarjuna shows problem in these positions, and he doesn't propose any position by his own. But he certainly says that for all practical purposes, causation or origination is dependent origination. So things originate depending on something. That's all about his own commitment regarding the theory of origination.